Okay, I'd like to call for Thursday, July 2nd, 2020 meeting of the Springfield Historic Commission. The present commissioners are Commissioner Walsh, Commissioner Nardi, Commissioner McFarland, Commissioner Rowe, and Commissioner Kroll. Is Tom Belton online? No. Is Commissioner Finn on? Not seeing. No. And Commissioner Schultes? Okay. Okay, we have no minutes at this point. Let me just go over some of the procedures. In order to enable municipal government to continue the important work during the COVID-19 pandemic, the City of Springfield is providing public notice that will conduct a public hearing utilizing remote technology. This can be viewed on Channel 17 on Springfield Comcast Network or Focus Springfield Community TV website. Public comment will be taken in two different segments. The first public comment period will take place prior to the meeting discussion. The second public comment period will take place after the meeting, will remain open for 24 hours after the meeting. To provide for public comment in writing, mail to Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. 01104, or email aallen@springfieldcityhall.com, aallen@springfieldcityhall.com. And to provide for public comment by voicemail, the number is 413-750-3223. Messages received will be played at the Historic Commission hearing or at a continued hearing date. We have 4 tabled items. So let's get right to 34 Mulberry Street. That was a application to propose exterior scope of the work involves widening a side entrance door and installing an ADA ramp. In addition, signage has been included. Alvin, was there any public commentary on this application?
No, we did not receive any public commentary for this particular matter. However, I do want to state that the petitioner, and they'll give you some, more details on this, but they wanted to change their previous proposal of the concrete ramp to a wood ramp.
Okay. And weren't there a couple of other details, changes? I think they were proposing vinyl, and they are now proposing wood?
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
No, we were originally proposing a concrete ramp with wrought iron railing. And now we're proposing wood.
Okay, wood ramp, wood railing?
That's correct.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry. Thank you for, I just knew a change had been made.
Just a little detail. So the wood will be painted the colors of the house?
Correct.
Of the building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is there any, so there's no other no public commentary, so we'll close the public comment on that application. I'd entertain a motion to approve the application as submitted with the change to wood.
So moved.
I got a
It was Alan
motion
Nardi.
by Commissioner Nardi. Is there a second?
Second. Scroll.
Okay, Walter, thank you. Is there any discussion on this motion? Just to cover it, we're covering the installation of the door and the small signage and the ramp. No further discussion? All in favor? Commissioner Walsh is in favor. Yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe?
Yes.
And Commissioner Kroll.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that application is approved. And just to back up a little bit, all our votes will be by roll call tonight, so I'll call the names and we'll do it that way. And so, Mulberry, you're all set for those.
Okay, excuse me. May I
Yes.
ask a question? What
Sure.
is the process? What is the process now that it's been approved? What's the next step on your side? What do? You send this to the city?
Yep,
So-
Alvin is right there, and he's heard it, and he'll be able to move forward with it, probably not tomorrow, but next Monday, right? Would
Yes,
that be
but-
correct, Alvin?
I'll send the approval notice to the building department so you can apply for your building permits on Monday.
Okay,
That's great. Thank you.
thank
You're
you
welcome.
very much.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Mhm.
Okay, and like I said, bear with us as we move through these. I try to be fairly deliberate to make sure everybody we're all in the same place. Okay, this is 64 Spruceland, which was an application for certificate of hardship to enclose a porch and add an exterior stair. Alvin, any public commentary?
No, I didn't receive any comments for this matter.
Okay. Were there any changes in this? Let me see.
There weren't any changes, but there were additional information given.
Okay. Just update everybody on what that was.
Ms. Bose, can you speak to that?
Sure. I sent some additional pictures to help people visualize how the windows would look. I included some pictures of a neighbor's house that shows what that's it. Yep, great. What we're
There we
looking
go.
for in trim. So where you see the picture on the left is our back porch from one side, and it shows the clapboards below. We'll just seal beneath the clapboards and then trim it out with leaving the column exposed and multi-pane wood frame, wood constructed windows on that side. And then if you move to the next page, you can see a little bit of a Photoshop job that shows
Yeah.
what the stairs would look like coming out toward the driveway in the street. So it would be right by where the cars are, and the type of door that we would be looking at installing. A wooden door with multi-pane glass, and it would also have a screen panel for warmer weather. And then the last page shows the other side of the porch with the existing stairs, which will stay and will have an identical door there. And the reason we're leaving that door is because it's inside the fence and we can let the dog out that door without her escaping to the street. So that's what our plan would be. And then the framing around the door would match what's around the windows. The door would be sized appropriately for that space.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. There's no public, I will close any public commentary because there wasn't any. So I'd entertain a motion to accept the application. Let me just, before I do that, ask for that motion. Well, the application is for hardship. Now, let me do it this way. Yeah, I entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of hardship at 64 Spruceland Avenue. to enclose a porch and add exterior stairs.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion on Spruceland? Hearing none, we'll call a vote. Commissioner Walsh is in favor. Commissioner Nardi,
Favor.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe, Commissioner Rowe, Commissioner Kroll.
Yes.
Okay, I don't hear from Commissioner Rowe. So I won't mark that. However, it does pass. There are 4 votes in favor of. So you're all set with your application as well.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, thank you. Make it look beautiful for us.
We will. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Hey, Allie, you might want to stop sharing your screen now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm working
There
on
you
it.
go.
Here we go.
There you
Okay.
go.
Gotcha.
Okay, now I have, next is 80 Cornell.
Hello?
Yep, hold on. It's an application for a certificate of, it has hardship and appropriateness for the chimney removal. One of the 3 chimneys has been removed as a non-repair. What's that?
Sorry, I was just saying something to somebody to hang on because they're talking to me.
Just to go through the application. Anyway, it's to build a shed in the back of the property. Okay, was there any public commentary, Alvin?
No, I didn't receive any public commentary for this particular matter.
Okay, no public commentary, so then I'll close the comment period. I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of hardship. Right, hold on, before somebody makes that motion, Alvin, I just want to ask about the, is part of this, is the appropriateness part of this and the hardship another part of it? Or was that just a missed check mark there?
No, I think the shed was for appropriateness and the
Okay.
taking down of the chimney was under hardship.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify that for the commissioners. So now I entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness for the shed and hardship for the chimneys at 80 Cornell Street in Springfield.
So moved.
I'll second.
A second? Okay, Walter, thank you. Is there any discussion on that motion? So we know that the one chimney is already down and gone, and the others will be maintained and repaired. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call a vote. Commissioner Walsh is in favor. Commissioner Nardi,
Favor.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe, Victoria? Okay, and Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Favor. Victoria, are you muted? It doesn't look like you're muted out there. Okay, she can't hear, so I'm going to write a note that Victoria did not vote. It does pass. The application is approved, so you're all set as well. Commissioners, I didn't read these on the other 3, so let me get back where I'm. Commissioners Walsh, Nardi, McFarland, and Kroll in favor. So you're all set. Okay. Next up is 77 Dartmouth Street.
I'm sorry,
An
did you,
application?
I'm sorry, not to cut
Did
you off. Did you get the shed as well?
Well, I noted that the appropriateness was for the shed and the,
Okay. so
unless,
you got voted on
are you
both. Just-
suggesting I have a separate vote for the shed?
I would do so.
Okay, well, let's do that then. So let me back up and just note for the record that that last vote on Cornell Street was for, just back it up a little bit. Was for the chimney. Noted that one was removed and others repaired. So I'm going to just recall that just double check so that that initial motion would have been for the chimney. So Commissioner Walsh was in favor, Commissioner Nardi in favor, McFarland in favor, Commissioner Rowe did not vote, and Commissioner Kroll's in favor, which approves that. Is that okay? Everybody's all right with that, commissioners? And so I'll entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness relative to building a shed in the back of the property.
So moved.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. Commissioner Walsh votes yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe? And Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Okay, so sorry about that, Alvin. We're all set. That passes, and now that 80 Cornell Street is all set. All right, let's move on to 77 Dartmouth. This is an application for certificate of hardship for windows, second and third floor only. Addition of and an addition of a new porch in the rear of the house, replacement of rear windows with a sliding door. Did we have a site visit of some kind on that property?
Yes, there was a site visit with Commissioner McFarland as well as Commissioner Kroll.
And what did we learn?
I'll let those gentlemen speak for that matter.
Commissioner McFarland,
Did the pictures, the photographs get distributed to the commission?
Yes, they were.
Well, it looked like there was an unauthorized porch that was built up in the back using some sort of concrete or stucco. You can see that in the picture. 3 original windows were removed out of that area, and contemporary sliding glass doors put in place, and a deck was built off the back. It's visible from the Harvard Street side, from both sides, from the back, and it's also, part of it is visible from the right-hand front of the house from the Dartmouth Street side as well. A number of the windows were inspected, and they were found to be in need of some repair. However, the wood wasn't rotten. In fact, many of the original windows that are in the house have a wooden storm window that has been in place probably forever. So I did take a picture of where one of the windows was scraped for painting, and you can see that it's still yellow, solid wood underneath, not rotted at all.
okay. Was there any public commentary on that, Alvin?
No, I did not receive any public comments for this particular matter.
Okay.
You can see the commentary from David Gaby that was just up. They're talking about Dartmouth.
77 Dartmouth we're talking about right now.
There's a comment from David Gaby in the text. I can read it. I can read it if you want.
Commentary, Alvin?
You want me to read it?
I mean, I've been told that we're not going to have comments during the meeting. Folks should have sent in their comments prior to the meeting.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yes, I'm sorry, Robert Suchuk, I'm the attorney for the city. Yes, no comments.
Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I agree that there should be no comments.
Robert.
Okay. Okay, we close the any public commentary anyway. All we would be doing is recording previous commentary under the periods that we spoke about. In fact, I probably should read that again. Now let's finish this one. So I have two applications here. One is for the replacement of siding and portions of the rear and siding of the side of the house, no change in material. And then the other one is doing new windows, rotted windows, need replaced, too expensive. We want vinyl on some windows. Addition of new porch in the rear of the house, replacement of rear windows with a sliding door. So let's take the easier one first, which is the one that is application for certificate of non-applicability, a replacement of the siding and portions of the rear side of the house, no change. If they're using this no change in the correct materials, then it is non-applicable. And the second one, I entertain a motion to accept the application for a certificate of hardship for the new windows and the addition of a new porch in the rear of the house, replacement of the rear windows with a sliding door. If someone could make that motion.
So moved.
Okay, second. Somebody second? No second?
I'm sorry, I just had a lag in my bandwidth. Could you just restate what we're voting on? It cut out on me.
Yeah, that's okay. This is to accept the application for certificate of hardship to replace the windows with vinyl windows in the addition of a new porch in the rear of the house, replacement of rear windows with a sliding door on 77 Dartmouth.
Did we already vote on the first one, the appropriateness?
No.
Okay. I just didn't know what I missed. Thank you.
No, you didn't miss anything. So I'm just looking for a motion. I got the motion. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, now we need some discussion on this motion. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, point of clarity, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
What's the history been on properties like this where from the front of the house, you can't really see the porch? With the new fence up, most of the porch is covered. But clearly you can kind of see everything from Harvard Street. So you can see the whole entire project from the rear of the house.
Right. Visible from a public way. Doesn't say front of the house, side of the house, whatever. Visible from a public way is part of the situation. Fences will mitigate. If it's not visible at all, then we don't have any. It doesn't pertain to us. But this is visible in somewhat significantly, I think, from the other street. From Harvard.
Harvard Street.
Yeah. It's not the windows are not appropriate for the house in the historic district, and the construction of the deck and the sliding doors are not either. Certain things could be mitigated with a different plan. I believe that most of these, if not all of these windows, could be repaired probably at a similar price or better than the replacement. But I did not do the site visit. I did look at all the pictures. Some of the pictures I saw, the windows did look substantial. They just looked like they needed repair. You know, ropes, weights, things like that that are broken. Those are fairly easy to repair. Does anybody else have any want to have any discussion on this motion? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to call a roll call vote. Commissioner Walsh votes no. Commissioner Nardi?
No.
Commissioner McFarland?
No, sir.
Commissioner Rowe?
Abstain.
Okay, Commissioner Rowe is abstaining. And Commissioner Kroll?
No.
Okay, this application does not pass. Now, just on the first one, do I need a motion on that if it's not applicability? Alvin? Oops.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
I was just asking about, do we need a motion and a vote on non-applicability?
It's not necessary, but it's on, I believe it's on the
Okay.
agenda.
So
you might
we'll
as
just
well
leave that.
resolve it.
Okay, then I will just backtrack one more time, and I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of non-applicability, 77 Dartmouth Street, relative to the replacement of siding and portions of the rear and side of the house with no change in design or material.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that one? Hearing none, the roll call vote, Commissioner Walsh votes in favor of that. Commissioner Nardi?
In favor?
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe abstaining? Commissioner Rowe?
Yes.
You voting yes, or yes, you're abstaining? Okay, and Commissioner Kroll?
Yes, I'm abstaining.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the yes on the replacement of siding, no on the other applications.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Walsh.
Yes.
You guys voted on the windows as well as the rear porch?
It was, I was voting on that, what was written on that application, which was windows and porch.
So, okay, so both were denied.
Both were denied. Both were denied.
Okay.
What are you suggesting?
I guess for, you know, for a denial, I would have some sort of, you know, offer remediation.
Well, I would suggest that there is, you know, a better plan could be made, but you know, the windows are clearly inappropriate, and the work that was done was not, would not just not be approved under the guidelines as a historic district. So I have no problem with the vote being one vote denying the entire application, because it's all written on one piece of paper.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we had some sort of explanation or reasoning to go on to his denial.
Okay. Well, do you need more than that?
That's fine.
Well, let me just ask any other commissioners, did they agree with that position at this point? Is there anything you'd like to add to it?
Well, I think, Mr. Chairman, you also stated that site visits also proved the same.
Right. Well, people who did the site visit acknowledged that. Yes, I use that information as part of my decision, my decision on my vote. So,
yeah. Okay.
Is that all set, Alvin, or should I flush that out a little more?
That's fine. I just want to make sure we give that sort of information as to why things are, if something is denied, because the question may come up later on, you know. So I just want to make sure we put that out there.
Okay. Okay. You know, my suggestion to him was that he check into having the windows repaired, and if a window absolutely can't be repaired, something that would be an appropriately and acceptable replacement. And the construction work, that's a whole different can of worms. Let me just go over this. Let me just go over how to public commentary, since we just were mentioning it. Public comment, this period will take place after the meeting and will remain open for 24 hours after the meeting. To provide for public comment in writing, mail the Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. 01104, or email aallen@springfieldcityhall.com. That's AALLEN@springfieldcityhall.com. And to provide for public comment by voicemail, the number is 413-750-3223. And any messages received will be played at a continued hearing date. Okay, let's move.
So I can't speak in the matter at all? I can't comment or ask any questions or anything, it's just denied and move on?
Yeah, well, you made your presentation at the last meeting, and we waited for public commentary. There wasn't commentary. So we had our motion, the commissioners, any discussion was put on the table, and then the vote was taken.
Because I understand the windows part of the whole deal, and even then, you know, there's a hardship that comes into it because it's gonna be way expensive to fix those windows, if I could even fix them. And as far as the deck in the back goes, you can't really see it from Harvard Street unless you see it from the house, from the second floor of the house that's right behind me. You can't see it from the street because of the fence. So I don't know where, you know, or who went back there on Harvard Street and could stand on the street in a car or on foot and see my deck, because you can't. You can only see it from the second floor of the house that's behind me.
Those, if you look at the pictures that were taken during the site visit from Harvard Street, those were actually from the sidewalk on Harvard Street. There's multiple pictures from different.
I didn't see any pictures.
You want to check them out.
When they came for the site visit, they walked into my backyard, and that's where they took the pictures from. They didn't take it from Harvard Street, if you're talking about those pictures.
All right, Mr. Santos, I'll call you on Monday and see what we could do as far as our next steps.
Yeah, leave it all in your hands, sir. Can't do anything without your blessing.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to move to the 107 Maplewood Terrace, replacing existing shed.
Alvin,
Commissioner Belton, yes, you have a question?
can you take me off mute?
No, you're off mute.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I was off mute.
Okay, let me note for the record that Commissioner Belton has joined us. Give me a second. Catch up. Okay. Get things out of order a little bit. Just give me a second to find. Okay, Maplewood, here it is. Okay, 107 Maplewood, an application for a certificate of appropriateness to remove a 5x8 shed at the southeast corner of the home and replace it with a 10x14 shed in the same area. A new shed will have the same color schemes as the house: cedar clapboard siding, asphalt roof, shingles that will approximate the color of the slate roof of the house. The shed will be made of wood. Okay, is John or Sandra here with us? Probably should ask that first. Are the petitioners for 107 Maplewood Terrace online?
Don't see him. I'll
Don't
try to
see
give
him.
him.
Okay, we'll hang on to that for a minute then. Okay, now we'll go to 1104 Worthington.
I'm present.
Excellent. Okay, this is an application for a certificate of appropriateness. The proposal is to install a 7-foot by 4-foot wrought iron gate on the Worthington Street side of the property. It would be fabricated in 2 sections that open inward, made to match existing fence with scrolls and painted flat black. The reason is the front entry to the house has been maintained in much its original condition, including the doors, which feature historic hardware and large stained glass windows. In order to preserve and safeguard these, we do not use as our primary entrance, nor does the post office deliver mail there. The gate is intended to discourage third-party delivery services and callers from attempting to use that entryway. Okay. Okay, just tell us the basics of what this you're doing, if you could.
Okay, do you have the pictures
I do.
that I provided? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
There is a fence that goes along the Worthington Street side of the house. This is a corner property.
Yep.
There currently is no gate. The walkway brings you to what is technically the main entrance of the house at 1104.
Okay.
We don't use it. The previous owner did not use it, etc., for the same reasons that I outlined about the stained glass doors, etc.
Okay.
However, when we have packages delivered or callers who have not told us first that they're coming, they enter that way. So we occasionally have people knocking on the door, etc. So I would like to install the gate in order to best preserve the actual entryway to the house and discourage people from coming that way and possibly damaging the house. Both the hardware and the stained glass is historic and original to the house.
Okay, and the gate will be, they're going to take the design as similar or a similar design to the fence?
The gate will be fabricated to match the design of the fence, including the scroll work. It will also be wrought iron, and it will be painted to match the fence.
Okay.
In flat black to match the fence.
Okay. Is there
It will be a double gate opening inward, because it's a wide expanse.
Excellent. Are there any commissioners have any questions of the petitioner?
Yes.
Go ahead, Tom.
That gate is going to be 7 feet tall?
No, sir. 7 feet. It's a double gate that's 7 feet wide, 4 feet tall, which is the same height as the existing fence.
I was just wondering where that 7 foot come in. So you're saying you're going to have 2 pieces that in length are going to equal 7 feet, but they're only going to be 4 feet tall.
Correct. The same height as the fence.
Okay. I just had to get some clarification on that.
Okay. Well, we will hold on. Apologize again. I'm just trying to. Go ahead. Is that Al? No?
Commissioner Walsh, we do have some comments for this particular matter.
Yeah, I do have this one. I was going to add it to the record. Do you have any others?
No, just the one, probably the same one you have.
Okay, well, let me just read this commentary into the record here. This is to the Springfield Historic Commission regarding the request of the owner at 1104 Worthington Street for permission to add a gate to the line existing fence on Worthington Street. I'm in full agreement as a contiguous abutter in the request, as it will add a finished look to one of Springfield's important residential landmarks. Also, I'd approve a request to continue the fence in a similar fashion on the Ingersoll Grove side of the property. That's not part of the petition, but for the corner of Worthington and Ingersoll Grove to the adjacent property, Ingersoll Grove number 28. I do realize this is in opposition to the original plans when the historic district were created, but for so many years, there have been so many instances of things done in McKnight that have never been corrected and allowed to fester. That's an exception to allow this finished fence on Ingersoll Road would be an improvement. Respectfully, Edward M. Zuckerman, 28 Ingersoll Grove, Springfield, Mass. And just a reminder that anybody else who would like to submit public commentary, you can comment. The period will take place after the meeting, will remain open for 24 hours. To provide public comment in writing, mail Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. 01104, or email Alvin, AALLEN, springfieldcityhall.com, and to provide for public comment by voicemail, 413-750-3223. Yeah, there's a rendering right there. Okay.
I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yep, that's similar to what we're talking about, Al. Yep. Okay. I would, is there anything else that the petitioner would like to add?
No.
Oh, you're all set? Okay. I'd entertain a motion to continue this to our next hearing date, which is the 16th of July.
So moved.
Second. Second, please.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the motion to continue? No?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Thomas.
If we're moving to continue this to the next meeting date, are we just going to consider what's on the application that has been presented to us and not include that additional fencing that was just brought in today? Because that's not on the application.
No, that was public commentary. This is only regarding the gate, nothing else.
Okay, so it's just
Okay.
what's on the proposed change. Okay.
Just on the, yes, exactly. And, you know, the continuance is to allow for public commentary under the conditions that we're operating our meetings.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Any other motion?
Commissioners, as far as I understand, the petitioner is not seeking to extend that fence, so that's just commentary by the.
Yeah, it's not even that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We get, I mean, the public commentary, that's what happens sometimes. They add a little touch to it. But anyway, I call a vote. Commissioner Walsh is in favor of continuing this. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe? Commissioner Rowe? And Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure if we're having an audio problem with Victoria. Because if you can hear me and I'm looking for a vote, just, you could put it in the chat if you wanted to. Let me see what's in the chat, nothing else. So if you're hearing me, but we're not hearing you, just type us a message in the chat. But I'm gonna put not voting at this point. Anyway, that's we're voted to continue that to next week.
Thank you.
Alvin,
you're welcome.
Alvin, maybe you can undo my screen share. It just keeps not allowing me to undo it. Thank you.
Victoria votes yes in the comments I just saw.
Oh, there she is. Okay, voted yes. Not sure what that was. Isn't technology wonderful? Okay. Let's see what's next on here. Alvin, did you hear from 107 Maplewood by any chance?
Yes, they are on the call now.
Oh, they are. Okay. Well, oh, there you are. Okay, let me go back to Maplewood.
Thank you.
Hold on. Of course, I put you aside, now I can't find your application. Okay, here it is. Okay, back to 107 Maplewood, application for certificate of appropriateness to remove a 5x8 shed at the southeast corner of the house and replace it with a 10x14 shed in the same area. New shed will have the same color scheme as the house, cedar clapboard siding, asphalt roof shingles that would approximate the color of the slate roof of the house. The shed will be made of wood. Okay, tell us, that's all you have is you're just replacing that shed?
Yes, we're looking to replace the current shed. We'd actually, I kind of amended the application earlier this week for discussion with other folks in my house here. And if we could keep the 5x8 shed that we have and put it at the end of our driveway, that's something we'd like to add to that. But that's really what we're looking to do. Ultimately, we're looking to replace the little tiny shed that's on our yard with the much larger one.
Okay. I mean, obviously, you've indicated that it's going to be similar color, kind of appropriate design. What's the visibility of the sheds?
So where you can see the shed is mostly you can see it from, if you're looking up our driveway from Washington. So we're on the corner of Washington and Maplewood. And if you're looking up our driveway as you're driving Washington, coming off of Sumner Ave going toward Maplewood, you can see the you can see the shed in the far corner of the backyard. So that's really the visibility. You can see some of it if you're looking at the house from Maplewood from the front. We do have a fence that will run within about 2 feet or so. It's a stockade style fence that you'll be able to see some of the shed over that fence also.
Okay.
So that's really the visibility of the shed.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions for John?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
Go ahead, Tom.
You're going from a 5x8 to a 10x14. Is that because this is a prefab and that's the closest you can get to it?
Well, just the demands of the household are that we need more storage than what we currently have, especially for outside, and we don't have a garage. So the 10x14, yeah, it is a prefab, I guess, predetermined size, and we only had certain sizes to select from. That one seemed to be large enough for our needs and not so big that it actually, it dominates that corner of the yard too much. So I guess that was our thinking. I hope that answers your question. But the shed will be, it'll be built by Hometown Structures and then transported to our home.
Okay. Now you have two on your little site plan. You have the larger sheds closer to the house, and that's
Yes.
where the original shed was.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. All right. I have no other questions. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. So as you know that we are going to vote to continue this to the meeting on the 16th, so that to allow for public commentary under the under the way we're running the meetings now. If there's anything else you'd like to add? No?
No, we're going out of our way, well, we have every desire to keep the shed congruent with the look and feel of our home. And we've actually, we're actually spending a few extra dollars to make it, to accommodate that look and feel. A pretty significant number of dollars to make that happen. But it's important to us, that it looks that way. I know it's important to the neighborhood, but it's important to us as a family too.
Good. Excellent. Okay. If there's nothing else you'd like to add, I'd entertain a motion to continue 107 Maplewood Terrace application to the meeting on the 16th.
So moved.
Second. No second?
So moved.
Okay, second. And any discussion on the motion? Okay, roll call. Commissioner Walsh is in favor. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe.
She commented in the, said she's in favor.
Okay, Commissioner Rowe in favor, and Commissioner Kroll.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll continue that to the meeting on the 16th.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Okay, 38 Riverview. We have an application for a certificate of hardship, 38 Riverview Street. Remove, repair, renovate front two-story porch. Remove first floor porch, floor, roof, second floor, install new structural beam on existing second floor roof, installing new concrete sonotubes, reframing new first floor, second floor porch floor, installing new roofing siding to match existing roof and siding material. All exterior windows, door trim is to match existing width to maintain historical detail. Cost to rebuild, replicate the entire first and second floor porches to the exact original detail and design causes of financial hardship. Cost difference to, not sure what that says, to an additional, I'm not sure, additional columns by 2, removing 2 columns that doesn't affect structural integrity, framing, material, siding, finished labor, total cost difference $4,000. Oh, I see, okay. So there's currently 4 columns and you want to remove 2 of them.
2, 4. There's actually 7 columns, and I'm looking to remove 2 of them, 1 on the second floor and 1 on the first floor.
Oh, okay, all right. So which would be the ones that you're removing? That the kind of offset one there?
Yeah, the one that's like 3 or 4 on the right side of the house if you're facing it.
Okay. Okay, and all other than that, the material is all going to be replaced the same.
Yes.
No change in size or design or material.
No.
Okay. And there'll be the cedar will go right down to like that's finished now as well.
Yeah, well, it's not cedar. It's vinyl cedar impressions that was approved years ago. From the commission. So the siding.
That's what it looks like, right?
Yes.
So on those porches, that is not wood siding?
What's on the siding now is wood siding.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. Meaning 3 sides of the house is vinyl cedar impression.
Okay.
So I would just match what you see with cedar, the cedar with, I would put cedar impressions, vinyl cedar impressions.
I see, but on the application, it says installing new roofing siding to match existing roof and siding material. I apologize, to me, that kind of implied that it would be the same as what was there. Okay, so is there, okay, any commissioners have any questions of the petitioner?
Does this really fall, does the hardship category really fit this, or should it be appropriateness or non-applicability if they're going to do those things? Because this doesn't sound like or feel like a hardship.
Well, it's not non-applicability because changes are being made. Material changes are being made, and structural, the appearance is changing, so.
Then maybe appropriateness would be a better category instead of hardship.
Yeah, appropriateness could fit only if you guys feel that the materials are appropriate for,
Right. But I'm also looking at the rendering here the rendering we have is showing the porch design to be different.
Yes.
Yes.
As opposed to not just the columns. It looks like well, let me just get back to the petitioner. Tell us exactly what it's supposed to look like. What's the difference What other changes are being made?
It's basically, do you guys have the view of the front elevation I had drawn up? It's basically.
I do. That's what I'm noticing is different than what the application says. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, the first floor columns will go right down to the floor.
Okay.
And then there's lattice work instead of the shingles, down below.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Rowe. We're not hearing you. Give it another try.
Second.
No. Can you put a question in the chat if you'd like? No.
I have a question, Chair.
Please go ahead.
What are the size of the pillars today? And is there any concern that when you remove the center pillar that there'll be any issue with the weight load?
Yeah, the size of the pillars are, I believe they're 8-inch, which will be, replicated. In the structural, it doesn't affect any structural integrity of the structure at all. The beams will be sized accordingly. So it does not affect the structural integrity at all.
And are you going to reuse the existing pillars, or are these going to be replaced with?
No, they're going to be replaced. They're beyond repair. They will be replaced.
And what are they solid? Is it solid core with a wrap, or what's the?
No, they're just a round structural. I believe they're like a permacast.
Okay.
Is there a reason why you're not having a railing or any kind of wall structure on the bottom porch?
The lower part, just for the cost savings. The cost to have the whole thing rebuilt. It's beyond it's becoming unaffordable for me to. So I looked at it and tried to figure out a way where I can afford to do it without affecting much of the integrity, the historical view of that.
Yes. I'm sorry, my connection must be bad.
We can hear just probably half of what you're saying, Victoria. But do you have a question of the petitioner?
I said, if you clear my vote, I said.
Okay.
Looks like she can't hear us either.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Victoria, if you can hear me, type something in so that I can read it. If you have a question for the petitioner, I can read it into the record. While you're typing, is the decking and all the decking material going to be?
Is it going?
I mean, I even hate to use the word deck because the material is all going to be the appropriate material to make the floor of the porches.
Absolutely.
The reason I'm asking. No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be the porch form. It will be porch flooring material, the tongue and groove that replicates exactly.
Yeah. Because it's a significant visual change, even structurally, it might structurally appropriate, but visually different. It will look almost like there's a deck on the front of the house.
Well, I noticed there's a lot of other homes in the historical district that have the same design as, with the lower front porch with columns that go right to the porch floor. That's where I got the idea. to try to save and cut costs and make it more affordable.
Would it be in your potential plans to redo in the future, to redo the walls of the porch, to bring it back to what the original design would have been?
That's very possible, but I do have other extensive work that I'm doing on the house. Extensive foundation repair. I saved all the original glass. I had it repaired in its original value and kept all the stained glass. So I do have other expenses that are occurring during this project. I pretty much went through the entire house, and this is basically the final phase of the house, the front of the house.
Any other questions from the commissioners?
This is a very significant change from what was there to what he's proposing, because as you stated earlier, it's just going to look like a deck on the front of the house. And with the removal of the portion of the porch that enclosed it in, it will look like a deck on the front of the house. Okay. And if he can't enclose it now, is he able to put in a decorative wooden rail? Just something so it won't be so significantly different.
Right. And then the lattice is different too.
There's other houses in the district that have the same design, same front porch design, that don't look like a deck.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
another thing that I added to the look to keep it historical looking was I added some red scalloped shingles at the peak on the main front gable, as you could see.
Okay. Anything else anybody else wants to add? Because we'll then vote. Well, I'll entertain a motion to continue to the 16th. So for the public commentary.
So moved.
Okay. Second. Okay. Any discussion on the motion to continue?
Vinny, I just wanted to state there may be a code enforcement issue with having that open concept.
Okay.
But actually, because the code is it's 30 inches without railings, and it's like 22 inches.
Okay.
I've looked into that already.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we have. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Alvin?
No, there's
You all
no
set?
Public commentary.
Okay.
Any further discussion on the motion? Go ahead.
Yeah, there's just another thing you have to keep in mind is my house is it's in the last street of the historical district. If you look at my neighbor's house, it's all aluminum sided. The whole house is aluminum sided.
Yeah.
Also, the stained glass was just covered over. All the stained glass.
John, we understand that this is a kind of precarious position you're in. What we just try to do is set a plan in place that can work for both of us. Yeah, it is. I know you're on the edge, but with in the next couple of weeks, just look at it and see if there's anything that can bring it a little more. Some other, I don't want to say design, but something that might restore some of the era features to the porch as opposed to making it look like a deck. And in the meantime, we'll just get public commentary and we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. It's. I know you understand this, but we understand as well the position you're in. We just, we have to go under the guidelines that we have, but we are certainly willing to listen. The plan you have, and when I had read the application, it made it sound like you were going to replace with the same materials, which actually isn't. You meant the same materials as is on the house, not on the porch. So that just was a little. potentially thinking, okay, he's going to rebuild the porch, use the same material, that makes it easy. When you're going to change things, just try to give us a little more detail and information, and something that's going to show us it's going to look, or to try to, even if it's a future potential, to restore it to the type of porch it was in the beginning. At least gives us something to talk about. But anyway, that's all we have for today. If there's no more questions from commissioners, I'd like to get to that vote. Okay, hearing none. Commissioner Walsh votes in favor of the continuance on Riverview. Okay, Commissioner Nardi. Commissioner Nardi.
In favor. In favor.
Okay, Commissioner McFarland.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I skipped Thomas. Commissioner Belton.
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe.
She commented, yes.
In chat, yes.
She did? No, I'm looking at it. I don't see it. Okay. Okay, and Commissioner Crowe.
Yes.
Okay, so we invite public commentary under the several ways I have instructed, and we continue this to the meeting on the 16th. All right?
Right.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, 153 Westminster. Is the petitioner on board with us? You got to unmute your mic. See if I can do it. No, I can't.
How about that? Hello?
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, this is, yep, I can hear you. Okay, hang on. Let me just read this. The application for a certificate of hardship, 153 Westminster Street. Renovations of the front and back porch. Remove and replace windows, broken windows on the second floor. Note, the first floor windows have already been replaced. The window, okay. All right, tell us what your plan is.
Okay. This property, I originally, my name is Derek Hatwood, by the way. I own a construction company here, Bay State Home Guard. And I originally picked up this property via way of a contractor. And it was cited for peeling paint, and then the porches were unfit or unstable. So back in January, I signed paperwork with the City of Springfield Code Enforcement, specifically Amber Gould, to have the work done by June 1st, you know, where it was functioning and not such an eyesore. Meanwhile, COVID came into place. I received a letter back on May 5th of 2020 from the trial district court saying that, you know, they understood that COVID was in place, but everything was still the same, and that, you know, I was to bring it into compliance. I went to the building department, pulled a permit, fixed the porches, fixed the windows. I did put in several phone calls to the building department, and they referred me to the historical committee. I did put in phone calls there as well. It was just impossible to reach anyone. At some point I did, but it was through the building department, and they connected me with Alvin. From then on, I've been dealing with them. So by that point, I had already completed the work. I had a deadline of June 1st. You know, otherwise there would be monetary fines issued to the owner at the time.
Okay.
And it was the porches, the windows, the first floor window, the first floor, all the windows, or 90% of the windows are vinyl. They have already been replaced. It looks like they're probably 10 years old, at least. The second floor, they're in very, very poor shape. There's no rebuilding them. It's nothing where you can scrape the paint off of them and have them rebuilt. I did propose or send over new vinyl windows with cost, and they gave me a verbal, anywhere from $500 to $600 to replace the wood windows, and that was because of the size of the windows that are there now, which it's like 5 times the cost. As far as the porches go, I spoke with Alvin this morning. I did put railings on the porches. I have no problem with taking the railings back off and putting the iron railings up, according to the Historical Society. The only problem I have with that is, to me, it's just a personal thing. When I look at it, and I think of my grandkids and an iron post with an open rod like that, it's so easy for somebody to bust their head open with that being open. And I understand the historical part of it, but when you look at the safety of it and what code actually calls for now and why is 2 different things. But I have no problem with taking them down and doing whatever whatever the decision is. I'm ready to move forward with it either way. Just to take them down, to me, it seems like a health hazard, or somebody could seriously get hurt putting up the iron rails. And I did put up according to code, safety rails. And had I known that I had to do differently, I wouldn't have put them up, because I know I have to take them down and it's gonna cost me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get in touch with anybody, and I knew that I would be faced. Am I okay to go ahead? I knew that I would be facing, there was monetary fines that was coming from the not code enforcement, but the legal department with the city of Springfield. I'm also a receiver, so I'm very familiar with the rules and laws and so forth. And this is not my first go around with any type of construction in the city. I've done several. So
okay.
So that's where it's at.
Okay. I think we're going to have to take this one into a couple different parts.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to have to separate the windows from the porch.
Mm-hmm.
Any commissioners have any questions for the petitioner?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The finished product that you're proposing, is it included in any of the pictures that you sent us?
Say it one more time.
The finished product of the porch, is it included, or is there an example of it in any of the photos that were provided on 5/27/2020?
So Tom, in your packet, I gave everyone photos. So I actually sent a stop work order on this particular matter, particular to the porch. And so in those photos, you'll see exactly what the handrails look like, and exactly what the lattice was also changed.
Okay.
So is that completed work that you're referring to, Alan, Mr. Allen?
I believe it
was. Or is that?
Yeah, the pictures were of completed work with the deck, the lattice work, and the rails on the staircase.
Right, okay.
And so those photos.
So again, you know, I wasn't trying to hide anything or.
No, it's okay. We don't
I did
think.
pull the permits to.
You pulled the permits for the porch work? Oh, we lost you.
He's talking about the house up the street. Yeah.
Can you hear us, Derek? Derek? Okay. Derek? Okay, well, we seem to have lost communication with Derek.
Can you dial up Dave?
Hey, Tracy, okay. Derek?
He just said Tracy.
Yeah, I did, because your microphone's on, so we can hear you talking, even though we're talking about a different application. You might want to mute that if you could, for now. Okay, well. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to get that muted, and I'm not sure if we're going to get Mr. Hatwood back. I can see him, but evidently he can't hear us, and we can't hear him.
His audio.
It's trying. There you go. Are you back? You unmute your mic, Derek? Okay. All right.
Phone died. Okay. So. Okay, where was I?
Great question.
Are you still there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So again, you know, I wasn't trying to hide anything. I just couldn't get in touch with anybody. So at this point, I'm at your mercy, and you know, I would love for somebody to come and take a look at what I'm up against over there, especially as far as the windows go, because I mean, there's just no replacing them.
Well, like I said, that's a great idea. I think we should do that. Hopefully, we can get them, you know, a site visit in the next week or so. It's going to be, obviously, a lot of people are taking a long weekend, so sometime next week. I think that would be a great idea. We can continue this application to next week. We can get public commentary in the meantime, and then you know, we can take the windows and the deck separately. But if Alvin, do you have, I'm sure you have do you have his phone number or a way to contact Eric so that we can get to the beginning of the week, we can try to set up a site visit?
Yes, so I'll try to set up something. I'll send out an email and see which commissioners can come out, and I'll try to confirm that with Mr. Patton next.
Because I know that he's trying to work with us here. We just got to, you know, smooth out a couple of the edges here, and maybe we can get something in agreement. In the meantime, I'd entertain a motion to continue this application on 153 Westminster to the meeting on the 16th.
So moved.
Was there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, I'll call a roll call vote. Commissioner Walsh says yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland? Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Rowe? And Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Rowe, if you unmute, can I hear you, or you want to put something in the chat for us? Okay, that's not this vote, the next one. You can drop one in the chat, Miss Victoria, please. We have 4 votes in favor of the continuance anyway. Right now, I'll note that Victoria didn't vote. Oops. Okay, so we're going to continue that, yeah, 153 Westminster. Okay. Give me another minute to get reorganized and we'll continue. Okay, next we have, under the discussion, Community Preservation Act historic determinations, we have the McKnight area, District Common Area Restoration Project, and the Preservation Revolving Fund.
Petitioner is Mark Spruell. I'm not sure if he's on the call or not.
Okay, who are we looking for?
Mark Spruell.
Are you on the call, Mark? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me just get this information in front of me.
So,
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, hi. I am allowing Dave Gaby to make the presentation for me.
Okay, this is a full application for historic preservation, open space. Let's see. Okay, go ahead, David. Tell us what's
Yes.
up. Unmute yourself, Dave.
Really?
This is regarding street lights and street signs. Okay.
Somebody muted me. Hello?
You're on, David.
Hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Can you
Mr.
hear me?
Gaby. I can hear you.
The host? Okay. This is a
I can hear
proposal
you.
for, this is great. This is a proposal for improvement or restoration of parks, streets, and street furniture. The street furniture I'll take first. Particularly, we're looking for an approach to restore the original street lights, which are depicted in the application in approximately, and they used to go up St. James Avenue and on Dartmouth Street. We would, under this application, like to basically define and how that would be done, how many lights there would be, and so forth as part of the planning process. On the street signs, and this is, I understand from Engineer Signoli at the Department of Public Works, which we may need the Commission's support on this. Apparently, the traffic department standards apply, and they are only allowed to use green reflective signs. These are of a very different character than the original signs, and we would like to restore the character of the community by reinstalling either original signs that are salvaged from the city somewhere or recreate the original black and white cast iron signs. On the parks, we're suggesting that there needs to be work at the Dingle or the McKnight Glen, and we're suggesting that in this coming year we should restore the sledding hill, which previous to the 1980 renovations of the McKnight Glen existed along Clarendon Street, or Clarendon Street and Dartmouth Terrace.
Okay.
We would like, as the process goes forward of long-term improvement, we'd like to see about rebuilding the gazebo that used to exist down in the bottom of the Glen and possibly the pond, but that's not proposed for the current year. We also are proposing that as we continue to improve Magazine Playground, and the Park Department Mr. Sullivan of the Park Department is very supportive of our ideas here, that we move to having some commemoration or interpretive work done so that that feels like part of the historic district, and in particular that the fact that that was originally part of the armory, then George Washington and Henry Knox were involved in setting that up as the arsenal of the Continental Army, be included in the way that the park is developed, and that we also have some sort of reference to Shays' Rebellion, which involved that particular area in 1787 and was very important to the development of the U.S. Constitution. We're suggesting that that should be worked into the same program as the water fountain, I forgot the name of it, water activity area and basketball and general recreation that the park department is already proposing, and we would seek to match funds so that as the recreational facilities are developed, the historical character or significance of the site is also commemorated or interpreted for people as they're coming along in the new generations. Finally, we're suggesting that as we maintain and work to restore the houses and buildings in the neighborhood, the open spaces that we use for circulation, which were part of the original planned community, are also significant. They not only set off and create the space between the buildings, but the way that the streets are managed significantly impacts the preservation of the buildings and in terms of traffic noise and vibration. We have an increasing number of, for instance, 18-wheel trucks going down St. James Avenue and to some extent Worthington Street and Dartmouth Street. And the vibration is negatively impacting the historic buildings. We also have significant feeling on the part of many people that the traffic is making it very difficult to live in the houses along the major streets. And this is very significant because in the 19th century, we had a much lower level of traffic, and the quote, prominent sites were those that were selected for houses like the 1104 Worthington Street and many other major homes. And in these houses, especially on St. James Avenue, have been very difficult to keep families in because people just don't feel safe and they don't feel that they can sleep. We have increasing, well, let's say speedy traffic and noisy traffic, which are making things dangerous. We have one gentleman that we talked to on St. James Avenue whose car has been totaled 3 times while parked in the yard. And what we're suggesting is that we should create a plan, and I know the Neighborhood Council has been working on the same general direction, to create a plan for what's in the planning industry called traffic dampening, so that we would like to see, if possible, through truck traffic routed outside the residential area, possibly down Albany Street. We'd like to see crosswalks and so forth designed and installed so that they both complement the safety and the historic character of the neighborhood. And I realize that this is not something that people have thought of as historic, but it doesn't really make sense to us to have a beautifully restored 1898 or 1883 house in front of a modern street which appointed with green reflective signs and cobra-headed lights, which is exactly the program that's presently in effect. So we're proposing that this should be considered by the Community Preservation Committee and other appropriate funding organizations, and we'd like the Commission's endorsement of
Okay.
the fact that this is a historic thing that we're talking about.
All right, David, thank you. Any commissioners have any questions?
It's a great conceptual idea. Mr. Gaby did a good job of articulating that, but I have no idea of how many street lights he's proposing to be installed.
We are not proposing, can I speak through the chair?
Yeah, absolutely, David, go ahead, please.
We suspect that we're talking about in the neighborhood of 40 streetlights. From what we can tell, the original plan was to have the cast iron streetlights down a couple of major streets, and the other streetlights were wooden streetlights with metal luminaires on them, and we're proposing to keep that in the same sense. And during the current or the proposed first year, we would be doing a survey of that, so that we would be specifically looking for how many lights we were talking about and how we do that institutionally, given that Eversource is not inclined to participate in any light program that doesn't conform to their modern lights. So we would be coming back to the commission with specifics at a later date.
Sure. I think it's a great project, and you know, we have to start somewhere. We have to hopefully have continuous projects. I think I kind of liked all the aspects of it, David. So thank you for presenting it.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any other comments on it? Okay, we're making some noise here. Go ahead, Walter. Are you speaking or just making noise there? Nobody else? Okay. Well, this one we don't have to wait till next week to do. You know, if somebody can make a motion that we put together a letter of support, which is all they're looking for right now.
So moved.
Yeah, thank you. Note that David said that they'll come back with specifics for approval.
Right.
Just the general concept, I'm certainly okay. Anyway, we have a motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none, let me just get the roll call vote here. Commissioner Walsh is yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland? Yes. Commissioner Rowe?
Yes.
Ah, excellent. And Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's for that's the first one, first application. Now, there's a second application, which I guess David is going to speak about as well.
That was my intention, if that's all right.
Okay. All right. Tell us about the second letter that support we're looking to support. Go ahead.
The McKnight Community Development Corporation has proposed a redesigned revolving fund for a program which we, based on our understanding, meets the objections of the city solicitor. So that what we are proposing is a program that would fund restoration work in 3 categories, or rather 4 categories. Primarily, the first 2 would be houses where there's significant deterioration and we're worried about their ongoing viability. And I've submitted a list of those as part of the program, but the essence of it is mostly they are houses with porches where we're worried about their structural stability. For example, 20 Buckingham Street, the Naismith House at 92 Buckingham Street, the siding and roof at 35 Florida Street. And I'd be happy to go down the list, but the essence of it is that these are both inside and outside the local district. Some of them are in the National Register District. They're all in McKnight. The second category is houses where work has been done in the past at some point that undermines the architectural character of the neighborhood. We had picked out the house at 341 St. James Avenue as an example that we would like to discuss doing remediative work on, as well as 347 where the porch railing with volutes was removed. 175 St. James Avenue where they've done a nice job with the railings, but for some reason they can't seem to find the porch posts that match. So their whole let's say experience of the house going forward is undermined architectural. We'd like to have a resource available for that. The third area is a revival of a program that was implemented with the neighborhood council and the community development department many years ago, which is essentially to help people who are trying to maintain their houses find specialty millwork that if you go to Home Depot, they say, oh, they don't make that anymore, but it can be made. It's not too expensive, but it's not readily available. And the fourth area is preservation of house pieces so that those things that people anywhere in the city or anywhere around don't continue to use can be preserved for use on historic houses. In all cases, we're proposing that the specific addresses be submitted to the city council for final approval. The city council will be involved in all final decisions about which houses are assisted and all decisions about what funds are expended. We are not, and we are attempting to involve as many local contractors as we can get to be interested. We're also attempting to make sure that we have a training process so that local contractors have a good understanding of what the Secretary standards are and things like porch railings and, pardon me, that areas are a good training so that people understand, that our contractors understand the standards for porch railings and windows and so forth, rather than having an ongoing struggle with vendors. So,
okay.
Was I not audible? Do I need to repeat anything?
No, I think I got it.
Okay.
I think we got it.
So the other thing I wanted to add is that we already have a preservation restriction document that we're using on, for instance, the house that was moved on Bay Street that's outside the local district, and that we would suggest that a document like that or something similar be used so that if there are any future architectural changes to the house, especially in the area of the things that we've assisted them to fix, that would come back to the commission for future review and approval.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Gaby?
I have one on the front cover. Dave, is it a clerical error on the front of the application? It has 200,000 for the Kibbe Candy Mansion or the Kibbe House.
That's 200,000 aggregate for all houses.
All right, it's a CDI funding has been provided for the renovation of the Kibbe Candy Mansion, which included other properties are not to be acquired.
That's probably a typographical error. I don't have it in front of me, but specifically the state matching funds did not get approved as of this year. So the whole thing would be considered inoperative, but the $200,000 figure we would hope to get to spread around to the other houses that we're proposing. And we're obviously open to any other houses that people think are priorities in those areas.
All right. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, I'd entertain a motion that we put out a letter of support. Go ahead.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Okay, take the vote, roll call. Commissioner Walsh says yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland? You're out there somewhere. Commissioner McFarland? Thank you. Commissioner Rowe
Yes.
and Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. All right, those are two, that's what we want. That's to move forward. And there's just one other thing and I think that's it for that. There's one other thing on the agenda. And give me a minute because I'm not seeing it, the paperwork, so I might need a little help there. Okay. Creation of a local historic district at 41 Oakland Street. Okay. The Drama Studio seeks approval to create a one-building historic district for their property. Is someone here from the Drama Studio?
Yes, Steve Hayes.
Mr. Hayes, go tell us what you're up to. Thank you.
Well, the Drama Studio bought this property from the Episcopal Church in 2017. And
yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're doing fine. Thank you.
All right. We realized that we needed to bring it up to code. It had not really had any kind of attention paid to it for many years. And as we began to realize what it needed, we began to realize its historical significance. It was built in 1908 as a copy of an 11th century church in Chelmsford, England, where William Pynchon, one of the founders of Springfield, was a warden. It is called English Country Gothic, and it's a kind of a interesting architecture that is unusual in the city. The architect, Guy Kirkham, had a great body of work in the Springfield area. He designed Mass Mutual, Forbes and Wallace department store, our next door neighbor, the Forest Park Library. And he also had another connection into the city in that his grandfather was Charles Merriam of Merriam and Webster. So it's a kind of a wonderful connection into the community that we think should be preserved. The site, it's less than an acre. It's 41 Oakland Street. Is next to the Forest Park Library, as I mentioned, the newly renovated Forest Park Middle School, and the next door temple. And it's a very remarkable area of diverse architecture. So we're proposing that it become a single building district, historic district. Part of this request comes because we were given a grant from the Community Preservation Fund, the CPA, to restore it. We have no intention of changing the exterior of the building, but the inside needs to be brought up to code, which means fire code issues, sprinkling systems, doorways, ramps, and all of that stuff. So it serves about 250 kids who come to the Drama Studio weekly. And if it were properly set up, it could serve the Springfield City Schools for our work in providing theater as an educational resource. So that's why we would like to bring it to your attention. 1908 building, And I'd like to add to this that I was one of the first commissioners of the Historic Commission. And I participated in the creation of McKnight, Forest Park Heights, and Mattoon Street, as well as 3 or 4 others. So it would be lovely to see if this could happen. That's my presentation. I hope you got my letter of March 20, which explained this all.
We do. We have it. Any questions from the commissioners? I have a question for Alvin. You can hear me?
Yep.
Alvin?
Yep.
Is this subject to public comment?
It is not at this time. Later down the line.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
We could entertain a motion tonight for this?
Yes.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to leave out a step. But I would entertain a motion to begin. I'm not sure what the step is called. The first step to.
So you guys are recommending in favor of creating a preliminary report to be sent to Mass Historical Commission.
That's what I was looking for. Preliminary report to be sent to the Mass Historic Commission. All I could think of was first step to. Thank you for that motion. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, do the roll call vote. Commissioner Walsh votes yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Okay. We will do that. Be happy to do that. Sounds like a great idea to me. So you'll be all set to get this underway, Stephen.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. I just want to reiterate to anybody who might be out there listening to us how to provide public commentary on any of these petitions for today. You'll be able to comment after the meeting. We'll remain open for 24 hours. To provide public comment in writing and mail, Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. 01104, or email aallen@springfieldcityhall.com, aallen@springfieldcityhall.com, or to provide a public comment by voicemail, 413-750-3223. And it's not on the agenda, but is there any public comment? Is there any speak out?
Well, we can't allow speak out.
Can't allow to speak out tonight?
No.
Oh, I thought we did that on the first meeting. Maybe we didn't. See, it's just weird doing it this way, everybody. So you be patient with us and we'll be patient with you guys. And if there's no other further business.
One thing I wanted to ask, in regards to participation for the next meeting of all the commissioners.
Okay.
Figured I'd bring that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I will not be able to attend the next meeting on the 16th. So hopefully, Al, you'll be chairing that meeting, and we just got to make sure we get a quorum moving forward.
For me, 5:30, I could tune in at 5:30. It's just that by 5, my kid's father don't get home till 5:30. So it's kind of hard to pay attention and
Sure, I understand.
The meeting with my 1-year-old.
Yeah, we know there's challenges to everybody. Even move 5 o'clock, for some of us was a bit of a challenge. I'm not suggesting that we move the time at this point, though, because this is our third meeting at 5. I would suggest, Victoria, that you join as quickly as you're comfortable, but we just have to try to get a quorum. Just try to get people there at 5 o'clock. I will not be in attendance. Actually, if I find out that I can attend, I'll certainly let you know, but I'm not expecting to. I'm expecting to be on a vacation if I'm allowed to do that these days. I'm not sure where I can even go right now. But, you know, there is a potential that I can be at the meeting. I just had planned to not be there. So just let Alvin know, or as early as we can. Go ahead.
I'll be there. I will.
You either. Oh, you will. Okay.
Yes.
That's a step in the right direction.
So I'll be coming in between 5 and 5:30. If that's okay.
But anyway, we just got to talk to anybody. And Alvin, let me know if you can't get that quorum and I'm in a place that I think I can at least participate. Maybe I won't chair. Maybe Al can chair because he'll have maybe the availability so I can jump in at the last minute if we need a quorum. So if there's no other business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned. Have a great
Night,
Thank
everyone.
you, everybody, for doing this. We're getting a little better at it.
Not bad.
Slow but sure. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Call me, Alvin, if you have to.
All right, will do.